Welcome, my gorgeous souls, and welcome, my gorgeous cancers. This is going to be your May 2025 reading. This is going to be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. I've had a few of you reach out and ask me to do your reading next. So I kind of skipped the line because I felt like, when I have, let's just say, more than five people who are like, oh, please do our sign, then I feel like you need it. So we're gonna do your we're gonna do your sign today. But again, this is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. Some of you are going to be intuitively guided. That is your spiritual team guiding you. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. As your guides, thank you. I read through my spirit guides, who connect to your guides, by the way. That's why I always say reading will find you in your divine timing, just when you're meant. It's like when you're able to, let's say, perceive the messages more on a spiritual level. Um, some of you could certainly be in love with the Cancer. Same thing. Just know that your guides know you're here and they will give you messages. Um, you know, it could be whether to continue, whether not to continue. We'll see. Let's not put anything out there yet. Um, but whatever brought you, I just want to welcome you and thank you. So I did buy a new deck, and with the new deck came a free calendar. I thought it was a wall calendar, but it's not. It's really I really like it. So I decided every day I'm going to go ahead and read what it says. So for today, it says, "This planet is my home. I take loving care of the earth and all the creatures living upon it." It's like caring for others, but caring for everything, really. Um, all right, so Cancer, we're going to start with four decks, but I'm going to be bringing more out. I have a feeling. But we will give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. We will use the major arcanas for our bullet points. And for the main spread, this is the new deck. I've been using it for all the signs for May just to really break it in. There's a lot of the cards I haven't even seen yet. I like to see them when you see them. But anyways, this is called Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. It's a big deck. Um, I'm really loving it. I do wish it was a little smaller, probably just because my hands are tiny. Um, Real quick though, I also want to let you know that I do have a membership program. Well, I have two membership programs. First one, it's level one. It's just a simple thank you. It's like a small donation. But level two is going to be where we go live. You can ask whatever questions you want to ask me. You could ask as many questions as you want to ask. It's really like having a personal reading. And we're going to do it on a weekly basis. I used to do this before, and then my channel got hacked and it just stripped all that away. And it took me some time before I decided to do. There's a whole reason why I decided to do this actual program, and part of it is I have a podcast called Beyond the Veil Psychic Readings, and it's just where I'm picking up on people's energy. I'm just connecting to my guides. Um, but I decided to ask you on YouTube if you had any questions before I moved it, and I got hundreds and hundreds. So I decided let's make it a membership program on YouTube. So, you know, I'll be available to you. A lot of people are calling me their spiritual advisor, and I feel like I have to start taking on that title. So, anyways, when we get a total of four in level two, then we're going to start going live. We have one. I have quite a few in level 1, but for level 2 is when we will again go live. So just want to let you know that. Okay, let's open up your reading. And let's start with Mother Mary. Also, for anyone who's new, everything is always pre-shuffled, but I always love giving it a shuffle with you here also. And if you are new, welcome to the Soul family. All right, Cancer. You know, I don't know my birth time, but it's interesting because I've had my chart done a few times, and some people call me a Gemini moon, other people call me a Cancer moon. I resonate with both, so it's really hard for me to tell the difference. It just because it moved from Gemini into Cancer on the day I was born, but I don't have my birth time, and I ordered my birth certificate. It wasn't on there either. So, all right. Just want to see if anything else wants to come out, and that is it. All right. Let's see what Mother Mary has to say. Compassion. Well, I feel you're one of the most compassionate signs of all the zodiac. I feel like you're very loving, you're very nurturing. And, I do feel like part of your journey is learning not to be anyone's fool at the same time. You remind me of the Empress, who has such a beautiful heart. But she really had to learn, like, how to claim her own power. I don't know why I'm talking about the Empress right now, but I feel you in the Empress. I see and feel others' points of view with forgiveness and kindness. I see and feel other people's points of view with forgiveness and kindness. Okay. We'll see why. Mother Mary will let us know why it came out. Let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas. Actually, I want to bring the lid down. There we go. Not much to shuffle. All right. Are you ready, Cancer? I'm ready. Oh, look at that. Your very first card, the Lovers. The Lovers. First of all, a card of Gemini. The meaning of the Lovers is a head over heart decision, but it's chemistry. Um, this image shows really Cupid, but an angel's influence over the Lovers. I get a feeling that some of you are coming across someone that you probably didn't expect. These two people, like, they just have natural chemistry. And I feel like when their hands ultimately touch, it's like they're so close. It's like they're going to feel it. It's like a shock through the body. Interesting. I'm picking a lot of this up intuitively, by the way. We have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. It is a 5, so it's about a new beginning. When you see the Hierophant, because it's a 5, it wants you to question a few things. It wants you to ask yourself, are you living life according to your terms? Sometimes I feel like we lower our vibration to be with others, and, that never works. So as we raise our own vibration, it just makes sense that, whoever comes in for us or towards us, that their vibration must be of the same. So the Hierophant, I really feel like it's your morals, it's your faith. It asks you, is your faith strong? And I'm not talking religion. And for some of you, it may be religion. I often feel like this Hierophant is about to bless something. So let's keep going. Sad about the Pope, huh? Hmm. We have the devil. Interesting. So, first of all, card of Capricorn. You know what's interesting is it was Capricorn's reading I was going to do. But then I saw all you guys reaching out like, oh, please, Sandy, please. So, er, Cancer was who I decided to do. Um, but anyway, so card of Capricorn. This can certainly speak about temptations, illusions. You know, the devil is great at casting illusions, making you feel stuck, making you feel like, well, not good. But what I love is the Hierophant right beside it. It's almost, and I don't mean this against you if there's Capricorns here, but it is kind of like the light and the dark. All right, let's see if anything, okay, else wants to come out. Look at this, the world. Okay, first of all, this is great news because the world is mirroring the lovers. Well, I guess it's great news for those who are looking, let's say, for love. The world is the next chapter. And by the way, the person in the middle is the fool. So it's the fool who has to take a leap of faith. This chapter, you know, we could say 2026, or like we're in the year of the hermit, which is all about reflection. What do I want to keep? What's got to go? You know, it's cleaning house because this is the last year of a 9 year cycle. And then we open up a new 9 years, you know, and I keep talking about it. I actually did a video yesterday about it because I really like, I want you ready. You know, I want you ready so that you really can experience the best that life offers. So I love that the lovers is mirroring the world. It is taking a leap of faith. The Hierophant seems to be blessing it. Some of you, it is a Capricorn, but let's go ahead and bring in the um, Archangel messages, and we'll know exactly what that is. But I mean, what a way to start the reading. The lovers mirroring the world. The Hierophant blessing. You know, I feel like if there's any old energy that kept tempting you back, like, you know, if you've had any repeat patterns, maybe with someone or something, then I feel like this is a time where you're able to overcome it. It does feel like, you know, this is what the blessing is for, to help you overcome. Maybe so that you can truly take this leap of faith. Oh, oh, all right. Hmm. We have the Eight of Swords. I feel like that's why you've been reaching out. Okay. Eight of Swords. Here it's called self doubt, confusion, and free will. The reason why it's free will is because this is a self created prison, so to speak. I mean, just look at the person. It's cold. There's like icicles. That's how cold it is. You know, it feels more like the energy. This is really where we're trying to protect ourselves, but we're not paying attention to our intuition because if we're paying attention to our intuition, we wouldn't have to create these walls. This is more of a human action. It is an eight, so it's asking you to allow yourself to have a new beginning. Interesting, it says confusion because I'm wondering if someone left you in a state of confusion. And then, interesting, we have the Five of Cups. Here it's disappointment, regret, forgiveness. Well, Mother Mary is also asking for you to consider forgiveness. If you look at this person, she is literally crying over spilt milk, the cups that have been knocked over, and the sadness that comes with that. I get this feeling for some of you. You've been in like this mental game, maybe regarding love. It's so interesting because you have so much energy of change. Hierophant to five, the world, the next chapter. The Eight of Swords really, if you can truly break yourself free. And then the five, well, the Eight of the Swords is about a new beginning. And then the Five of Cups. So change again. But in the Five of Cups, it really asks you to ask yourself, like, where's my focus? Am I focusing on the cups that have been knocked over? I definitely feel like there's heartache. And I definitely feel like it makes me feel like someone played some mind games with you. Because I feel like, I don't want to be in the Five of Cups. All right, let's keep going. I have a feeling someone played, yeah, it definitely feels like mind games. Like maybe it was like contact and then no contact. Something ended and it may have been against your wishes. But here's the Hierophant, right? Sending you a blessing that's connected directly to the lovers. And even in the Five of Cups, when I make that choice to no longer focus on the things that I have lost, the people I have lost, when I no longer hold myself prisoner and I free myself, well, there's two cups that this person is yet to find. And I find it interesting we have two fives connected. So, and these two cups are like looking right up at the lovers. Also, the angels' influence. So it's like your angels are saying, we know what you're going through. We know the hurt in your heart, but we want to help you overcome. Sometimes things end because something new is meant to begin. And I feel like that in that case, it's predestined. So let's like these two cups with their soulmates. Even in the lovers, I feel that energy. So, here I feel like someone was playing mind games with me. I'm in this state of sadness. Something may have ended against your wishes, but is the universe really preparing you for the potential of what's next? I get a feeling. Whoa. Why you gotta knock my cards all over the place? All right. We have Page of Swords. Truthful, analytical, outspoken. Page of Swords. We have the Sun. Beautiful. Card Leo. Success, recognition, enthusiasm. The Sun is your illuminator. Illuminates everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. If let's just say there's something in your life that really isn't benefiting you, then it's going to be illuminated. And it could certainly feel uncomfortable. But then again, it's meant to be illuminated. So if there's a change or if a change is needed, it feels very clear. I love the sun also under the world. It makes me feel like you're heading towards really a great time in your life. We're not opening the reading feeling that way. And I feel like the major arcanas are letting us know like the potential of what is yet to happen, but we have to allow it. We have the Page of Cups. Interesting, we have two pages. Sensitive, open-hearted, intuitive. I feel like this is you. Page of Cups is mirroring the Eight of Swords. This is like your inner child. So I feel like your inner child got injured, which is normally where we take heartache. We have the Nine of Wands. Okay, kind of happy to see that. Let's read it because I haven't gotten this one yet. Protective or protection, preparedness, resilience. So the Nine of Wands to me is about reflection. It's about one looking back at their life, or let's just say the last 9 years, because again, we're ending that cycle. And it's looking back without judging. It's looking back and realizing all the ways that you have grown. Yes, there's still some work, so to speak, but I feel like this is saying you should be very proud of yourself. You know, this feels like love that didn't go probably as planned. But what I want you to focus on is what is yet to enter into your life. Nine of Wands, when you reflect back and you see how you've truly grown, again, the sun's going to illuminate that for you also. You wouldn't be the person you are today without the experiences you've had, especially the difficult ones. The ones that we think we're never going to overcome, but then we do. All right. We have the Two Swords, indecision, avoidance, confusion. Well, hello, under the Five of Cups. And then we have, interesting, the Four of Wands, prosperity, contentment, celebration. This is the marriage card. It's coming under the Page of Swords. It's interesting because you look at the first line, we open up with some sadness. Like, it feels like my thought system is like going a little crazy. Maybe I can't stop thinking about someone. It does feel like someone, because the Two of Swords underneath that, it's almost like someone couldn't make a decision. Maybe someone was avoiding you. I get this sense that, and I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I get the sense that I fell for someone who just doesn't feel ready to be in a truly committed relationship. So if they're not ready, which by the way is their free will, it doesn't mean that it's you. It just feels like they weren't ready or aren't ready. They may have gone silent because they may know, like, what what you want, right? Like you do want this commitment. You at least want to give it a good shot. But I feel like someone's been playing mind games with you. And, it is you who has to make that decision of whether you want to stay on that track or not. Because that's what the Eight of Swords is kind of like keeping you stuck in that track. But I really feel like the lovers connected to the world, it feels like someone new. Even if it's someone you know, it still feels like someone new. We have 2 pages, could be, someone from back in the day. This could certainly be communication that comes out of the blue. But right next to the sun, I feel like I can trust it. It would be truth. The great thing about the sun showing up in a reading is you really don't have to fear the dark because anything done in the dark will come to the light when the sun is out. There is nowhere for shadows to hide. So anyone who enters into this period of time in your life, it will be very clear to you whether it's someone you want to continue with or not. But I also wouldn't be surprised if you get communication out of the blue. Do I feel like it's the one who caused this milk to spill? I'm going to be honest. I hope not, because I don't feel like it's doing you any favors. It feels more like it's keeping you stuck in an unhappy state, like in a state that you're not meant to be in. But, I feel like it is your loving souls. You love hard, but not everybody can love you in the way that you love. But there is someone who can. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. Let's just say the universe is getting you ready for. But you have to uncreate that prison first and foremost. And reflection seems to be the way, but not judgment. And it's about your life. Like you may say to yourself, like, why did I stay in this 5 of Cups so long? Like, why did I continue to cry over this spilt milk? Even though someone was not treating me well, probably like in and out of the picture. And now it's like, I don't want anybody. But I don't feel that's the truth. It's just, I feel like that's just what you're thinking right now. Because I feel like Divine's got the perfect person for you. All right, let's keep going. And you know what else I like? The Page of Swords literally says truthful. And it is about communication. And then you got the marriage card right underneath it. Let's call it the commitment card. Contentment. Celebration. So this could certainly be communication that comes in. It has to travel through the sun, so it's got to be of the light. And it's coming right towards you. Here I come, ready or not. All right. We have the Queen of Swords under the sun. We have the Hangman, awakening. But the awakening would actually be if it was in reverse. But pause, perspective, selflessness. The Hangman is mirroring the Nine of Wands, so it almost feels like this reflection would serve you so well. Because I feel like this reflection, and listen, it doesn't have to just, it's over your life, over the chapters in your life. I feel like that's what will help the hangman turn into the awakened position. And then, well, hello, fool. So interesting with the hangman, right? A pause in action, but now we have the fool. So this is about taking a leap forward, taking a risk, beginning, believing, protected. Oh, I love that. Protected. You're protected. Let's put the full over here because I want you. Well, no, let's put the full down here. So this is a new beginning. You know how we saw the full in the middle of the world, the next chapter. You know, this next chapter is going to open again, ready or not. It's just the way it is. Um, and I feel like, how do we want to see ourselves? How do we picture ourselves in that next chapter? Do I want more of the same? Or do I want to take some real chances on myself? You know, I just get the feeling that you're going to receive a call, a text, you know, a message from someone of yesteryear. This reminds me of like I've seen like with my own friend groups on Facebook, like when someone breaks up, all of a sudden you'll see this big single on their front page, where normally if they were in a relationship they had it on the back page, but then they put single on the front page. Well, some of you may be doing that, and someone might be picking up on that, especially if you had enough of the old. How beautiful that image is. The protection of your angels, always. They're always protecting you. You know, but the one thing is they can't come in between your free will. So they can't uncreate this prison. You have to. But in the Nine of Wands, I feel like that's how I do it. I reflect back and I look at how I have grown. This is not about judging other people. You know, you may ask yourself, like, do I have a tendency to, like, get stuck with the wrong people? And if so, why? Because I feel like whatever answers you're seeking with the sun here, you'll find them. Because something is allowing you to begin again. Take a leap of faith. Something new is opening up. And we know that right from the beginning of the reading, but we can see it here. All right, well, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the High Priestess. This is your intuition. Intuition, wisdom, patience. I just want to see what's right below it. What the heck? Doesn't want to let me see. Look at that, the Magician. Well, let me tell you something. That's kind of beautiful because when this fool, which is you, starts on this new journey, this fool already has mentors in line. And the first one is the Magician. And the Magician teaches the fool, you have the power. Well, let's see what it says. Manifestation, empowerment, um, preparation. So anyways, so this is the first mentor the fool meets. Teaching the fool that you can manifest the type of life that you want. But teaching how the fool to manifest, right? The needing to let go of the past. You know, chapters end. They just do. Relationships end sometimes. Jobs, there's endings and there's beginnings. But the second person or mentor the foal meets is the high priestess. And the high priestess teaches the foal that I am your GPS in this lifetime. Listen to me. It is the difference between your intuition and the Eight of Swords, because that is when I'm not listening to my intuition. This is why I built up those walls. I think I'm protecting myself, but everybody can see you. So it's really not protection. Some of you could have certainly taken a moment out, but there's nothing wrong with that either. But I do feel like it's like go time for something new. And I do feel like you have to trust your intuition on this one. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Definitely a couple energies I'm interested in. By the way, I don't know why I just skipped right over the Queen of Swords. Brilliant experience, you humor. So she's mirroring the world. Her sword is down. Could certainly represent Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But honestly, what I feel is because her sword is down, it's you, and you're not in any type of defensive mode. You must have found balance because that's really what the queen looks for. Brilliant. How did I miss that word? Brilliant. And then the sun right above that. So I feel like this, for most of you, this is you. And if you're new, that's just how I read. Just because a sign comes out that's different than you doesn't necessarily, at my table, mean that it's that person. Now, it could be for some of you, don't get me wrong, but honestly, I feel like for the majority, it's you. It's almost like I find you in a peaceful state. And I love that the sun is right above you, and then the world right above that. You know, the Queen of Swords is given that sword, and that sword is to cut ties with, whatever is not working in your life, whatever has run its course. Remember, the Hierophant is about to give a blessing, but it is about a change at the same time. I love the Hierophant and the Lovers connected together, especially because they're mirroring the world. And I feel like if there's been illusions, well, again, anything done in the dark, for many of you, I feel like has probably already come to the light. Now, what do I do about that? All right. Holy cow. It's like your reading is coming out in blocks. Okay. Wow. I'm not going to refuse them. All right. Four swords. Beautiful. Right over the eight of swords. I could not wish for more. This is healing. First of all, it's healing of a broken heart. This one sword, though, the sword we lie upon, I feel like that's our own truth. I feel like it's really important we know ourselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, all parts of ourselves. But I feel like this is quite beautiful because let's just say you have the ability to heal that Eight of Swords energy, and that is the beginning. I feel like that alone will open up whatever is meant to be. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Hmm. We have the Seven of Cups. We'll talk about these in a second. Let's just get them out first. Chariot, there's your major arcana, right over the sun. I'll take it. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Can be Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Interesting, another page. Page of Pentacles. You know, the Page of Pentacles is all about learning. This whole path is about learning. So coming over the Nine of Wands, that's really good energy. That means you are learning. You are growing. You know, you're paying attention to your intuition more. And you're not allowing yourself to create these prisons. You know, it doesn't mean that you, like, when I say uncreate these prisons, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily saying yes to what's next, but you're realizing that that doesn't serve you at all. You know, the hangman, yes, you can certainly put a pause in the action, but building up these walls, I just don't feel like they serve you. So I'm very happy to see, again, the Four of Swords over that. And the Page of Pentacles makes me feel like you've been learning a lot. The Hangman again, over the Two of Swords. Okay. And then, hello, Star. Card of Aquarius. This is about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm always honest, but, you know, when I say that, it's because I don't want to say what I have to say next. But, so we have the Hangman over that Two of Swords. We have the Hangman also connected to that Five of Cups. So I feel like there is someone of the past who potentially played some mind games again with you, like in and out of your life. Could have broken up with you. You know, but the thing is, like, I can feel your worth. Like, I can feel you in love. And I feel like it's their loss. But I do feel like it would serve you to let it go, let it fade away. You know, you do whatever feels right to you. But I definitely feel with the Hangman over that Two of Swords now, where it says indecision and avoidance, that that is not going to change. But then we have the Star right over the commitment card connected to the Fool with the Page of Swords right above it, where it feels like communication. And it's interesting because what's above that is the Seven of Cups. And that's you literally trying to make an emotional decision. It can be chaotic, it can be during a chaotic time, a chaotic moment. But it's interesting because there is some uncertainty. Yet the Star is here, so this is about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. But this may be deeper than you even know. Like this may be your soul's desire. Because I feel like your soul came here to have adventures and not, you know, not get stuck in the Eight of Swords for too long. I mean, that's a human emotion. We all go through it, I think. I know I have. But the day does come when you reflect upon it, you can see how it's really not helping you. But again, it's only you who can uncreate it. But you may have a little help here because I feel like who's ever in the Page of Swords, it could be, again, like an unexpected communication that comes in. But yet it is a part of your dreams. And I love that it's coming over the commitment card with the Fool connected to it. So this is like an opportunity to begin something new, but it feels like it's going to be beautiful. And even your major arcana coming over the sun, connected to the world. Again, I feel like Queen of Swords is you, her sword is down. That tells me the chances are you have used the sword. And when I say use the sword, that means you're cutting old ties. You're cutting what's no longer serving you. Enough is enough. Maybe some of you have been in this holding pattern with someone, but I feel like your spiritual team is like I feel like they're trying to set you up with someone else. The Hermit. Well, we're in the year of the Hermit. And we have the Magician right there. So 2025, 2026, which the Hermit is also connected to the world. Now, as I say that, I don't want you to think that, these dreams, these wishes that do feel like they want to come about. I don't feel like you have to wait. I feel like the sooner you do this reflection, the sooner the next chapter opens up for you. The Hermit, very spiritual. The Hermit has gone through that dark night of the soul. I would say this is your dark night of the soul over here. But the Hermit is emerging from that with the beacon of light, which is to me the symbol of the Hermit's wisdom, spiritual wisdom, but to use on this earthly plane. And, even this beacon of light is illuminating this little snake at the bottom. And I feel like that's to give you comfort, knowing that once you have this spiritual light, if there's any snakes in the grass, you'll see them. You don't have to fear it. Some of you, it's like we're getting closer and closer to a spiritual awakening. I feel like many of you are already on a spiritual path. But when I say spiritual awakening, that means you need to be 100% truthful with yourself. That means that you're interested in raising your own vibration. And therefore, whatever comes towards me, again, well, that's just the law of attraction. Okay, what else do we have? Look at that, the Five of Cups again. That is so weird because the Hangman is connected to the Five of Cups here, and the Hangman is connected, the Five of Cups now is connected to the Hangman. I feel like some of you are just having a true awareness that someone just can't be who it is you need them to be. Whether they just lack that ability. But this lantern is illuminating that for you. And also, this Five of Cups mirroring the Page of Pentacles. There may have been a valuable lesson within, unfortunately, the heartache. But it may have taught you. Sometimes what it teaches us is like, why did I allow myself, my own energy, to wait on another? And I mean that for the people who I literally feel some of you dealt with like no communication, or it comes in and then it's months. Man, I don't want you living like that. But you have to not want that. But I do feel like some of you, it's like opening your eyes. But don't give up, because just because this didn't work out, what feels like is next feels quite divine. And it feels like you're meant to step on this new path with the fool being in the middle of the world. And now we have the fool here. connected directly to your dreams, your hopes, your wishes. Here I feel like I was just stuck in my earthly mind. Here I feel like my spirituality is growing. I'm being honest with myself. You know, I do want some dreams to really manifest. You have so much more power than you know. Once you break yourself free, well, I just feel like the rest will follow. But in a way, I feel like it has to start with that. Because even if this page is like communications coming in, I don't feel like it's this person. Because this communication is coming from pure light, where this energy kind of feels the opposite of light. All right, let's go right below it. I do get it all the time in my readings where we have a tendency, and it's just the human part of us, um, to give our power away, to give our time away, to give our love away, and not receive. And that is a lesson in itself because you do deserve to have a happy life, but you have to also be willing to take some chances. And that's what the Fool does. The Fool takes a leap of faith. The Fool puts the past behind them. And now we get the Two of Wands, which is beautiful. To me, it makes me feel like you freed yourself, like already. Now, how long does it take from here to here? Again, that's going to be up to you. But I do feel like one of the messages your spiritual team is trying to get across is what you deserve. You know, how you can have a happy life. And let's just say you're afraid of loving again. Well, the Eight of Pentacles would help us with that because it talks about whatever you put your focus on is what you will grow. What's also connected to the Lovers. It can be a new beginning. Some of you may be connected to someone like through work or, doing similar things. I don't feel like this is the person who cut off communication. I really feel like, let's just say as your friend, I would advise you because I feel the sadness and the mental games and that. Like, I just want you to move on. I just want you to allow what wants to be, what is next in your life. And in the Two of Wands, that's what you're doing. You're allowing. You're saying yes. You're ready to step upon that path. And the Wands path, passionate, desirable, truly nothing to fear. It's not a fearful path. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like it's full of lessons. I feel the opposite. It's full of blessings. All right, well, let's keep going. I feel like as the year continues, and let's just say old energy hasn't been cleared, I feel like it's going to feel more and more difficult, like angst. But I feel like the angst is because your guides are trying to help you understand that one chapter is now over, but that this new chapter it's opening up. I have a feeling that someone is going to reach out, whether you accept it or not. And again, I don't feel like it's this person. All right, what do I have? The Page of Wands, fast moving energy, passionate energy, heading right towards the full. Well, here it's called the Dreamer. I like that. You know, it's interesting, the Dreamer and then the Star, right? It's all about your dreams. All right, the Three of Wands, beautiful. Optimism. We'll put that over the Hermit, or not the Hermit, the Dreamer. And then we have the King of Wands. King of Wands can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Leo. Um, we don't have the other signs, but you know, it doesn't really matter. And here's why. First of all, how interesting that all the cards that came out in this last line are of wands, stepping upon the path. You know, and in this two of wands, I feel like your intuition calls you to step upon this path, and you do. And then I feel like energy moves very quickly. And look, and it's like a difference of really everything. This is the energy of optimism. This is the energy of living in the present moment, just as the fool was meant to. This is telling the universe, I know that my hopes, my dreams, and wishes will come in their divine time. And you're really trusting that. You know, when you think of the law of attraction, well, manifest from this energy and watch what comes back to you. Right? If I manifest from the Eight of Swords, I feel like it's very hard to manifest. It's like trudging through the mud, where here it's just like free and clear. Jeez. All right, we have Page of Cups again. Excuse me. Interesting that Page of Cups is holding a cup because I do feel like there's new love on the horizon for you. And I feel this is more of a soul's desire than a human desire. But I feel that's just because the human part of us doesn't understand yet how good this can really be. Hmm. So I think someone's going to reach out. I feel like if you are still in the self created prison, that may be what makes the confusion of what do I do here? The Seven of Cups coming over that page is now telling me that this page is offering a cup. Now, when I say a cup, that could just mean a date, right? Because if we come down here, we have the two, the Knight of Wands, fast moving energy, but passionate, that moves right into the Three of Wands, optimism. So I feel like someone is turning your head around a little bit, but yet it's really part of what you've been dreaming about. And again, I'm thinking, does the human part of Cancer know the spiritual part of Cancer and the potential of what your life can look like? You know, we're not seeing the high priestess, the magician, and the fool for nothing. We're not seeing the lovers mirroring the world for nothing. And then having the fool, which we know is right in the middle of the world, which means fool is taking that leap of faith. I see you taking that leap of faith. And I feel like that hangman, I feel like it's telling you that, it's hard for me to say this because I know some of you, like, are really wishing for someone who's hurt you to make it right. But I get this feeling that they're just not going to. So I have to make a decision. I can stay, keep wishing, keep hoping. And some of you, you're even beyond that, but yet you're still in that self created prison. Divine is offering you healing. There is a reason, and then this page, I feel like it's saying like this, like there's a lot that you can learn about yourself just through the art of reflection. Don't get stuck in it. And I feel like part of it is just knowing that you deserve to be treated with, you know, the utmost respect. So, unfortunately, I feel like for some, at least this is what I'm picking up. I always want you to trust your own intuition. The only thing is, though, in the Eight of Swords, you're not trusting your intuition because you would not create that if you were. Or you would free yourself and know that your intuition is what will guide you. Your intuition is what will protect you also. So, as new things enter your life, when you really trust your intuition, if it's not of the light, you're going to know it. And that's the truth. You will know it. Okay. I just want to look at this king who is coming over queen, who I do feel is you. The hermit right over them. Five of Pentacles. But then look at this. The Knight of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is what was. It is like a tower moment. It makes sense because I often feel the hermit is the energy of going through that dark night of the soul, but it's seeking spiritual wisdom. I feel like when the hermit goes into the dark night of the soul, what the hermit figures out is, I'm seeking the light, right? I'm seeking, oh, someone give me light. But what you figure out is you are the light. You carry your light. It's about your spirituality and who you are beyond this human body. So it is recognizing the fact of what you went through. But let me tell you the good news about the Five of Pentacles is it's moving you towards what I feel is more destined energy. So maybe something had to end for this to open up if you allow it. And then your beautiful guardian angel comes out. And I'm looking at this king. And I'm looking at this king as like, is this someone I should invite into my life or not? Well, with the Knight of Pentacles, I would say yes. Again, the sense of protection. And even, here's the message of the Knight of Pentacles, though. Its first message is patience. Well, patient, I feel like you've been. But its second message is to remind you that it comes at the right time, not before and not after. And there's a reason for that. This knight brings in a pentacle that means something is coming into your physical world. And the knight knows the perfect time to bring it in. That tells me that many of you understand that Eight of Swords and you are allowing yourself to heal And that feels like the right time because this night will not come in until the timing is right. So I feel like even you growing more spiritually and maybe even understanding like the previous towers. What have you learned? How have you grown? Those who treat us unfairly, why do we want to give them our time? Sometimes, well, that could be what the devil is here for, right? Casting those illusions of feeling stuck. But it's an illusion. Temptation could be a lower vibrational energy that just keeps tempting me back. What do I do about that? Well, first thing I got to do is realize that. Sometimes we just think that we're never going to find, I wouldn't say anything better, but that's probably not the right word because this feels like night and day. So I have no worries about this king whatsoever. And I feel like this is someone who is just meant to come into your world. Like when the night tells you I come at the right time, the night's not kidding. So your spirituality, you emerging from that dark night of the soul, you allowing this healing to take place, you understanding that even these previous towers, sometimes they're stepping stones. They don't feel like it at the time. This night's looking right at the star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. You know, but the thing is, it's going to be up to you. I would not be surprised if you get communication from someone that you already know. And I'm trying to make sure that you understand the difference because this, again, is communications coming of the light. Where over here, I feel like there's just a lot of darkness. Okay, so, okay, I like that, King. Um, I think I'm going to look at the Seven of Cups and the Star because I feel like this is where, oh my, communication is coming in. Look at this, Ten of Pentacles. Hello, abundance. It's interesting because it's coming right after the Knight of Pentacles, guardian angel energy, who tells you what I bring is truly meant to enhance your life. I don't know how it gets better than this. I mean, you'd probably rather see the Ten of Cups, but to me, like, I feel like this is a sense of loyalty. Like, this is a house that can truly take root. But we'll see. We'll see if anything else comes out with it. Six of Pentacles. That makes sense. Hello, Knight of Swords. Ring, ring. Justice. Card of Libra. And look at this. Victory and success. Okay. First of all, Six of Pentacles. The reason why I'm happy to see is because we have the Five of Pentacles right here. And I literally, I don't know if I said this, but I usually say in the Five of Pentacles, it's really moving you towards soulmate energy of all forms. Um, Also, Six of Pentacles is that fine art of give and take. Well, I feel like you were giving, but someone was taking. This is different. Justice. It's interesting because Well, let me put it this way. For a few of you, I feel like you could still be in the energy of like wishing and wanting, you know, someone, but then again, they're playing mind games with you, or you're saying enough is enough. And that's what justice is about, right? You're cutting those ties, you're ending that chapter. And what that does is bring you true balance. You have two cards that can speak about unbalance, but this is about how do I find that balance? That sword, it's important. You know, that sword allows you to cut ties to what is no longer serving you, what is keeping you unbalanced. And when you use that sword, I feel like it immediately balances you. Now, justice is also about making you whole again. And I feel that sense of needing that. But I feel like that's what you'll find. And then here comes this communication. Like, I feel like we're not going to be able to stop it, but I hope you don't stop it, to be honest. And then victory and success. So, it's interesting because I feel like we ran the gamut here. Here I may be talking, speaking, doing, like I may have a business where, a platform where other people are looking up to me, asking me questions. Like, how did you arrive at where you're at? Well, have a seat because boy, do I have a story for you. But this is other people admiring you. 6 and 6, 66, 88. All of a sudden, I don't know why I'm looking for the synchronicities within the numbers. I don't know. I mean, I do know. Um, I'm looking around. Let's look at the Two of Wands because this is really the beginning. After a period of reflection, this is you stepping upon a new path. Okay, we got a lot, but we're going to take them. Well, hello, Ace of Wands, beautiful. That means you're being inspired. This is action oriented. This is your spiritual team sending you signs, but this is you receiving them and following them just as you're meant to. Again, inspired action. Another reason why you're paying attention to your intuition is everything because you're being guided here. Okay, we got quite a bit here, so let's try to pick it up the way it came. The Death card, card of Scorpio. This is about transformation. That's what the Death card talks about. And it tells you, don't fear me. Don't fear this transformation. Because it is about a rebirth. When one door closes, another door opens. That is life. And anybody who tells you different, I don't know. We have the King of Pentacles. Well, I was just about to say again. I don't know. Is he on the table? I don't see him, but we do have the Queen of Pentacles right there. We have the Seven of Wands, the Fool again, and the beautiful Seven of Pentacles. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I see the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like everything we see on the board was meant to happen. Why would this heartache be meant to happen? You're learning something from it. For some of you, it's like it's cracking open your heart chakra, but it's also asking you to ask yourself, Am I in like a high vibrational relationship? Is it even possible? And if it's not, what do I want? The Knight of Pentacles tells you I bring a pentacle in. Well, the Seven of Pentacles is like your tree of life. And I feel like every seed on this tree is one of your soul's seeds of intention. I don't feel like every seed becomes ripe at the same time. There could be more that there certainly could be more than one. But I feel like this is saying like don't regret. Don't look back with regret. Because what if it really is teaching your soul? Another way of looking at it is if we remember that, and this is the truth, that we are spiritual. We're spiritual beings having human experiences. These human experiences are meant to evolve our soul. So our soul and our human self can want two totally different things. Like, I don't feel like our soul, I'm not going to say won't get stuck in the Eight of Swords energy, that self created prison, but the soul doesn't want to stay there, right? The soul's here to have adventure, to learn, to grow, and it's not all about spiritual work. Some of it is. I feel like it's more about learning how to use the energy of the universe for your benefit. It's not hidden away. Just have a feeling that some of you are you're going to have an opportunity to have a new relationship, even if it's someone you already know. And I'm saying that because the pages are making me feel that way. Like this could be someone from back in the day. And again, some of you may have put like single on your status and somebody else picks up on that. Because I do feel like they're going to reach out and communicate, whether you're in that self created prison or not. It's just going to be how you're going to handle it, right? How am I going to handle it? In the Eight of Swords, it's going to be difficult. That's why I feel like the Seven of Cups is here. Like, what do I do? What do I do? But when you really look back at those who have disrespected you, you're reclaiming your power. You're reclaiming your right to live life happily. Doesn't mean that there won't be ebbs and flows, but the more you learn from the difficult situations, the easier you get through these ebbs and back to the flow. Okay, let's bring out the clarifying love situations. Give them a shuffle. Give them a cut. It's interesting because I feel like this reading, well, I do feel like different people are going to pick it up in different ways. Um, but it feels like the majority of this reading is like you finding your power again. You no longer like staying in these self-created prisons. You ready to see like what adventure lies out there. I feel like, hopefully you're not crying over spilt milk anymore. And I do feel like your spiritual team is saying, if there's someone again who completely disrespected me, knows that they're breaking my heart by not communicating, I feel like, okay, the next step is up to you. But I do feel like they're saying that I don't think that's going to change. But maybe it's not meant to. Maybe there's someone else on your path. Again, your soul seed is of intention. Your dreams, your hopes, and your wishes, they're on the table. How do I get there? Even your major arcana is asking for balance, right? Of the masculine and the feminine within ourselves, of the light and the dark within ourselves. The chariot is driven by your intentions, and it really represents unlimited potential. I got to believe that. All right. Anyway, reciprocal lines. Navigate boundaries with grace, mastering the art of give and take in harmony. Kind of reminds me of the Six of Pentacles is right there. Trusted ties, build rapport, believe in mutual respect, and respond with understanding. So, what I love about these cards is there's a message on each side, and depending on how they come out, would be your message. Temporal bonds. In the realm of flighty bonds, true connections waver but endure. Mapping the way. This reminds me of the Two of Wands. Explore love and unearth unexpected treasures. Explore love and unearth unexpected treasures. Wow. Reminds me a lot of the Two of Wands. And last but not least, storms of love. Conflict is an opportunity for growth and change. You know, this feels like the perfect example of because we're in a universal year 9, and it really is the opportunity to clean house. And I feel like that's what it's asking you to do. But when you clean house, it's a symbol to the universe that you're open to what is new, what is next. Even if it's something old, doesn't mean it can't be new again. All right, let's bring out the romance angels because I do feel like there's going to be communication coming in. Again, not from one person. The hangman keeps coming over who's ever put you in that state of sadness. So, as much as I don't want to hurt you, I feel like it's pretty clear that things won't change. And is that how you want the next 9 years to look for you? Okay. I'm going to stop trying to talk you into anything and just read what I get. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Hello, Cancer. Worth waiting for. It means you haven't seen it yet. Hasn't come in yet. That means when it does come in, you'll probably say those words. Now that was worth waiting for. What else I love is it's literally telling you that divine and divine timing is at work in your love life. So divine timing, well, sometimes divine is waiting on us. Just like the Knight of Pentacles, right? I come at the right time. Right when I know that you can take what I bring and use it to your advantage. And then we have let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Well, I'll tell you what I feel that's relating to. For those that are still in the Eight of Swords, I still feel like this communication is coming in. But I feel like, if I'm still in the Eight of Swords, it's gonna be very confusing. But I'm hoping that they still can win you over because I feel like they can. I really feel like it changes everything. But listen, I don't want to take away the power of you in this reading. And just how we opened up this reading, the lovers mirroring the world. So we know, right? Again, divine timing is at work in your love life. The Hierophant, we know, is blessing this love. This person who has gone cold could have been more of a free will type energy or even a karmic, like a karmic love. And what is the karmic love? What is karma? Karma, when you think back, let's just take this lifetime, for example, or let's use this person who I feel has just gone silent, which I feel is very rude. Just break up with me. You know what I mean? Just break up with me. Don't keep me hanging on a hook. But they're creating their own karma. And sooner or later, they're going to pay that karma back. If it's not in this lifetime, it'll be in the next. Well, sometimes we maybe had bad karma from a previous lifetime. We could have been that person who's gone silent, and now we need to experience it. Why? That just sounds mean. So that we can learn it from all sides. All of a sudden, I'm thinking of the song. I feel like it's Joni. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of her last name now. But I feel like I see all sides. I feel like allowing the situation to unfold naturally is an important message also. We don't need to push it, right? We don't even need to know where the ultimate destination is going to be. Why? Because we're creating it as we go along. Okay. I think I'm going to let that be. I feel like some are going to get it. Some are not going to want to hear it. Some are going to hear it with true understanding. And that may be also part of divine timing. That's why I always say, like, I hate putting a date on a reading because I feel like when it's your time, when you're meant to hear these messages, then it's going to come across somehow, some way across your feed. But also, you may watch this reading and there may be certain elements that stick with you. And then these changes start to happen. You may be called back to this reading and you may receive the messages in a completely different way. And that's just a fact. Like, I feel like I have proven statistics on that. And I'm not telling you to go back and watch your reading twice. I just feel like sometimes when we watch a reading, it's our humanness, right? Like we want what we want. But then when we go back and listen with our spiritual ears, we start to see the real blessings. We understand that, chapters end. They just do. Transformation happens, but we shouldn't fear it, right? Let's get excited about it. And it's literally just saying you merely just need to take a step into it. And I feel like the rest will take care of itself. All right, I'm going to let that be. Now I know why a lot of you are reaching out. I already know some of you aren't going to like that beginning message, and You do whatever you feel is right for you. But I felt that pretty strongly. But maybe you can get excited for your future instead of living in the past. My prayer is that your spiritual team helps to guide you without fear. Gives you this sense of true knowing. And I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. That's why sometimes it's hard for me to say certain things because I do love you. And I do want you to have it all. All right. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye, my dears.